Our next speaker is Missy Warner. She is nothing short of a Renaissance woman. I first got to know her over 15 years ago. I wasn't supposed to mention that number, but we've known each other for a long time. When her son Weston was a student at the Denver Academy and an athlete on the cross-country team. Since then, I've learned many of her other accomplishments, among them entrepreneur, mediator, author, and relentlessly passionate advocate of the causes she believes in very strongly. Please welcome Missy Warner.
So tonight we're here to talk about activating your passion. I went to the dictionary, well, really the online one. I mean, who's got one in their house anymore? And it said, activate, set in motion, make active. So of course I interpret that as, hey man, let's just get fired up. Fire up our passion. So my message is really designed for somebody here, all of you here, to take some new action or some new creative energy, depending on where you are and with what you want to do. Each of us tonight, Jeff, me, and everyone else here, really are here to share different stories about passion, about how we sustain passion, how we give to the community. And I love this teachers, education, passion, sustainability. I've been involved with education for many years. Obviously started about the same time you did as a student. In high school, I was on the student council and I was head of residence for an all-girls boarding school. And then many of you here at Denver Academy have known me here for years on the parent association, and now I'm on the board. So I love the idea of teaching, and I'm so grateful for all of you guys and gals, because you guys have all helped us raise our children as well as to be able to teach them. So I had this thought when I was thinking about this. What if at inception you knew what your passion was and you knew what you were going to do? Now this happens to be my grandbaby in the making, due in August. And I thought, you know, it's not everybody gets to be on the big screen before they're born. But it really inspired me to think about passion in a new way. It just seems to me that the sooner you figure out how you fit as a piece in the greater whole of this life and go about contributing as only you know how to do, the happier you're going to be. Already contributing, don't you think? Now, not everybody has trouble figuring out what their passion is. Well, maybe everybody. These are my doggies. And I have to tell you, they've known what their passion is from the time they were puppies. Their passion is really just to love me and my family. And actually the one over here with the little red bed actually taught our youngest how to sleep through the night. So I mean, you know, dogs though, they know their passion. Whereas sometimes we as people, it takes us a while to figure out what is that special us that we're supposed to contribute. Now I talked to one of my cousins when I was talking to Philippe about doing this, and she's been teaching for over 30 years in the New Jersey school system. And her name's Rebecca. And I said, Rebecca, I remember when we were playing dolls, you always had us put these dolls in a classroom. And she said, oh, honey. She's from Texas, too. She said, oh, you should have seen me with my brothers. I made them sit in the hallway at home in make-believe desks while I taught them. She said they avoided me like the plague. We're only just now getting to be friends after all of that. But in other words, she knew she wanted to teach when she was really young. I don't know that we all know that. Well, I know some of us do. Some of us are more generalists. These dogs have known what their passion is about being a dog since their little sleepy puppy eyes opened. Well, I had to bring you more kids, since you guys are all majoring in kids here. and I major sort of in the mentoring of the older ones. These happen to be my 3 sons. And nowadays they are close to 33, 29, and 22. But they really taught me to be a student. And they also taught me to be a teacher. Because as a mother, of course, I had to teach them to not run in the street. But also then there came values, and what are they going to do, and where is their passion? And somewhere after they were born, I looked in the mirror and I went, well, what is my gift? And it really then, somewhere around my 30s, I started thinking, you know, I just love people. I love people. I love seeing what makes them tick. I like being connected with them, and I love helping them grow. And I love helping businesses grow. And it was almost like it was an eye-opener for me to say, hey man, I've always got a job because I'm in the people business and they just happen to be everywhere. So fire up what you do best, because that way you just have a road to happiness that you just don't have if you're just still searching. You know, with passion, and with people saying, well, I don't know if I can find my passion, I would beg to differ, and I would say, you know what? You just need good strategies for passion. Because if you've got daily spiritual practices and daily strategies, I just think anybody can be passionate. We were talking about fire and campfire earlier. So here's our campfire. I just wanted you to know we do have a campfire picture. When I talk about what do I do every day and what works, and I really think one thing that's key is just to ask really good questions of yourself every day. See where you fit in your field. What activity are you really absorbed with? I'm a natural connector. I just love saying, I think you need to meet you, and you over there need to meet you. And between the rest of you, then you're going to get to go do something even bigger. In fact, one of the things I'm doing right now for the company I work with, Weston Solutions, is looking at ways for us to fit into North Dakota. So whether that's a joint venture or buying a company or building real estate, that's what I'm looking at. And I'm having the best time with connecting. So not to lose sight of a little sales and marketing, anybody here have a relative or a friend in North Dakota? See there? Please see me after this break. Thank you. There you go. What do I daydream about all the time? I mean, you know, catch yourself thinking what you dream about. I read an article in Kronos magazine when I was on a flight back from Houston just recently, and they had an article about Norman Rockwell being in the Smithsonian. Well, it's not, we all know Norman Rockwell, but that was great in itself. But then it went on to explain that he dreamt about acting in theater, and in fact with those paintings, little known fact, he would actually hire actors and actresses, have them come in costume, and act out scenes that he was going to paint. So when I think about daydreaming, he used his talent for storytelling in a much different way than, say, Lucas or Spielberg, who are really on the set. And actually they were all tied together in the same Smithsonian particular display. So what do I do naturally? What are my strengths and talents? And where is passion when it goes from decades and transitions and whatnot? I mean, I think it's okay to say, hey, what I was interested in as a teenager, now I may not be interested in the same thing in my 50s or back in my 30s. I will tell you, as head of residence in an all-girls boarding school, my claim to fame was to get all of us that were on the honor roll to be able to be free of study hall, and we would wear our bikinis under our uniforms, and we would go have the passion fulfilled of getting tan instead of going to study hall. And actually, so you know, I was quite popular for the head of residence at that moment. How can I share my gifts and talents today? You guys as teachers and educators, that's got to be always a thought. And I know that as you feel inspired, that inspiration just leads and grows for your classes. And when you're thinking about talents and natural strengths, you know, try something new in your classes. I know I work with primarily adults. It's in the business world. And it truly is, what kind of unique, unusual way can I bring into sales and marketing in helping people? So, I mean, it's really fun to just kind of get outside that box a little bit. I mean, I've gotten up and read poetry to them, and I work primarily with engineers and geologists, and I can tell you, they sit up and listen just because they go, well, what's she going to say now? But who can I mentor? Who can I fire up today? How do I pass along my passion? What can I do new today? You know, so often we end up driving the same path to work, and we go home the same way, or the same grocery store aisles. And you know, it's amazing what a breath of fresh air it can be just to try to do something different. Read a book you wouldn't have read, go somewhere you haven't been. Hey, take somebody new to lunch. It's really cool. It just opens you up. One of the things that I do truly is create my day in advance. And I have to tell you, gratitude is huge. Before I go to bed every night, I think of 3 things, and usually I can't stop, that I've been grateful for the day. And the next day when I wake up, I'm the same way, man. I'm already grateful for the things that are going to happen in my day as if they've already happened. Meditation, self-reflection, these are really key ingredients, I think, to really setting you up for success within your day. Because that way, it brings a whole calm and peace within your whole world. In fact, on the meditation piece, I have to tell you, I've been reading a book called How God Changes Your Brain by Newberg and Waldman. And I just want to read you a quote from this book. It's pretty fascinating. It's in paperback, by the way. Quote, "The magic comes when other people feel and see your optimism and excitement about your project." So education can fit here. "Which makes similar circuits in their brain respond to yours. It's as if they join forces and support you. The longer you focus, i.e. meditate, on your goal, the more real it begins to feel. And if you stay focused long enough, you'll alter the neural circuitry in your brain." So why aren't we meditating? We should be meditating right now with all of that kind of good stuff. But I truly think the whole self-reflection and just taking time for yourself. When I was talking to Rebecca about teaching, we talked about the fact that you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. It's kind of like the airlines. When the oxygen mask drops, they always tell you to put it on yourself first before you help somebody else. And the whole Create Your Day, there's a great piece in the book written by Joe Dispenza, Evolve Your Brain, in case you need that. But it really goes through the concept as well. Exercise, I know we read all about it. Breathing, moving, stretching, stretch yourself in a new way. None of these things that I'm saying are particularly new, but I'm sure that somebody is out there going, you know what? I need to remember to do that a little bit more often. So in closing, we're back to the campfires. We're sitting around the campfire to say what works and what's worked in my life. Fire, focus on gratitude, and also focus on your strengths. Do what you do best. I, invite new questions daily. R, release fear, because really isn't that what keeps you from stepping out of your comfort zone? And E, energize yourself through meditation and exercise. Do what fits you best to just put you on that path of inner peace. And you know, that will just spread as you activate your passion in education. Thank you very much.